Hey there, I'm Justin Brennan, founder of Multifamily School, a community of well-trained investors doing deals across the United States. You're here because you're interested in multifamily, real estate, and you want to understand how to get started. If you're like most people, you think that a 10-plus unit multifamily apartment complex that's only for the wealthy investors and people with massive networks. I'm here to tell you that's just false. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to break this down and show you, number one, who I am and why I created this mentorship in this community, number one. Number two, how you can control 100% of a multifamily deal while putting a fraction of the capital. Number three, how to leverage other people's money and earn a lion's share of the cash flow, the tax benefits, and the profits from a multifamily apartment deal. I'm going to show you and break down a 10-unit deal, an example that shows you the numbers and everything. And then I'm going to give you a case study with one of our hundreds of students that we've helped become millionaires in multifamily, showing you exactly what they get and what you get when you join the community to start your journey with us. So you don't need millions in the bank, you just need the right model and you need a support system. So let's get to it. So I'm a third generation multifamily investor, but I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. During the financial crisis, I watched my dad, he lost everything, massive bankruptcy. That moment, it changed the trajectory of my life. I started with just one condo rental property, $25,000 down payment. No trust fund, no rich uncles. I learned how to leverage my money with other people's money and allowed me to scale. And today I've grown over a portfolio of over 1,000 units and $185 million in assets. And we built Multifamily Schooled, the mentorship in the community, to create a win-win. Our goal, 10,000 units and $1 billion in assets, but we're not doing it alone. If we can help you hit your goals, whether that's replacing your current income, leaving your current job, building generational wealth, then the odds are you're going to want to scale even bigger, and that's where we can grow together. Make sense? Creates a win-win environment. Okay, so let me break down a deal real quick and show you the exact numbers on a 10-unit property for $1 million. So take a look at my screen right here. We got 10 units, $1 million. How this thing's going to break down financially is like this. You're going to go out and be getting a loan for $700,000. That's 70% loan to value. That loan is easier than getting a house loan. Why? Because they're using the property's financials, not yours. Different. Okay, they're not caring about your credit. They're not caring about your tax returns. They're not caring about a lot of the stuff. They're looking at the property's financials. That's number one. The equity down payment, that's the 300 grand, right? It's right here, 30% down payment. Now, most people would stop right there because you'd say to yourself, I don't have that money. I don't know where to get, I don't know, right? All that stuff that goes on. Totally understand that. I didn't have it either. Here's how the game of money works. You are going to be coming in with 10% of the down payment. That's 30,000 bucks. Okay, so for 10% of the money in, you're going to get 40% of the cash flows and profits, but you get 100% control and decision-making power. So distinguish the two, okay? Other people's money. That's where investors and other people are coming in. It could be our community, could be your friends and family, could be your network, could be private lenders, could be seller financing, creative financing, all the above. This is the stuff you learn. Okay, so that's 90% of the money coming in. That's 270,000 bucks. And why do they come in? Because they're getting a good return on their money. That's why they come into the deal. So they're going to get 60% of the cash flows and profits. You're going to get 40% of the cash flow and profits for bringing in only 10% of the money. Follow this. So what do you get? You're going to get 100% control of the decision-making power. You're going to get 40% of the cash flow and all of the profits that come out of that property. 40% of all the tax benefits. That's the holy grail. Screw the money and the cash flow. It's really the tax benefit. It's not what you make, it's what you keep, right? Watch me. It gets better. An acquisition fee. This is very standard in the process of syndicating and doing apartments. So in this case, 2 to 3% equals $20,000 to $30,000 in an acquisition fee. It's like Peter to pay Paul. That literally 6 to 7 days after you close the escrow, check comes back to you. So you put in $30,000. You're getting $20,000 to $30,000 back out. Even if it's $20K, you're $10,000 physically out of pocket. Watch how this happens. This is nutty, right? You're getting an asset management fee of 1 to 2%. That's becoming a manager of the managers. Once you own this thing, now you're managing managers, the property managers. For that, you get paid 1% to 2% of the revenue every single month. Keep going here. So for $10,000 out of pocket, you control and own a multi-million-dollar multifamily property. You put $30,000 in, you get a $20,000 acquisition fee, you're out of pocket $10,000. You're getting $2,000 to $4,500 a month in the cash flow. That's the monthly cash flow that's coming out. That's your percentage. Plus you're getting a $30,000 year one tax write-off against your income, by the way. 40% of all the profits from the sale or a refinance down the road, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whenever you sell it and do that. And you're making payments and you're getting paid 5 to 8 different ways. And we're going to get into that in just a minute in another case study. This is how this thing goes down. So your annual returns are stupid. They really are. But you need to learn the skill set of how to do this. That's why you're here. Okay? So your annual returns are north of 30% a year on your money. You only have $10,000 in the deal and you're making potentially thousands of dollars a month. You get profits, tax write-offs, and the fees all built into it. That's how this game works because you are learning a very valuable skill set. And because of that, you get paid very, very well. That's how the game works. Okay? Remember, it's either sweat equity or check equity. Sweat equity meaning knowledge, skill sets, and ability to execute or bring in all the capital. You figure out which one you have and which one you want to bring to the table. But if you don't have all the capital, then you better learn how to do this because that's how you're going to get into the game. That's why you're here. Okay? So let's keep moving on. What do the investors get that come in involved with you? They get mailbox money. They don't have to do any work. You're doing it. Okay? So they get all these things. They're getting 15 to 20% or more every single year on their money. They're getting massive tax benefits right alongside you. They're getting 60% of the ownership. They don't have any decision-making power, though. You do. Okay? But they're getting 15 to 20% of their money. So for doing nothing, basically giving you a check and getting mailbox money, that's how it works. Okay? Because they don't want to deal with all this stuff. You're dealing with it, which is why you're getting paid big money. That's how the game works. And because of how multifamily syndications work, you can control 100% of the deal while bringing in partners to fund it, allowing you to earn the lion's share of the cash flow, the profits, the tax benefits, and minimal capital out of pocket. So this means monthly cash flow, hitting your bank account, equity on the millions of dollars in the asset, big upside when the property sells, legal tax write-offs thanks to depreciation, all the while using leverage and other people's money and capital. This is how you grow your wealth while reducing your risk. Okay, so now we're going to jump into Brian's deal. Okay, this was a case study. He's now on his third deal, okay? Over 50 plus unit deals he's doing now. But I'm going to break down his first one, a 22 unit, how he got into it, what he came out of pocket, and what he's getting from it so you can understand exactly what you can expect when you come in. So here we go. So let's take Brian for a minute. Dog walker, by the way, owns a dog walking company. Okay, but this was not too complex for him. He figured it out. $1.8 million purchase price, $100,000 in closing costs, $200,000 in renovation. They're going to improve the property, do a value add appreciation, push the rents, and increase the value of the property. That's why they're doing renovations on these things. So total all in $2.1 million. He went out and got a $1,470,000 loan, about 70% of the value. Now keep in mind, he got this loan easier than getting a house loan. Why? Because they were using the property's financials. We have lenders and our capital partners in the community. They can look at your deals, they can provide the financing all within the community. You don't have to go out searching for this stuff. We provide it. So that's the 70%. They're bringing in the equity. That's $630,000. Now most people would say, holy cow, I can't even do this. They wouldn't even start. But that's the limited belief mind. Your mind here is today to figure this out. So this is how the deal breaks down. Brian brings in 10%. 10%. That's $63,000. OPM, that's the other people's money. He had about 7 investors in the deal. They brought in 90% of the money, $567,000. For that, they got 60% of the deal. Brian gets 40% of the deal. Additionally, Brian got a $36,000 acquisition fee. He's $27,000 out of pocket. Keep in mind, this is crazy. Think about this for a minute. $27,000 out of pocket has control of a 22-unit multi-million-dollar asset in the Midwest. Think about that for a minute. Okay, it gets even more fun for you. Let's go. So what does Brian get? The acquisition fee of $36,000. Asset management fee for managing the managers, right, and being a part of that. He's not doing the daily activities of the property manager. He's just making sure the property manager is doing their job. We will show you how to do this. Okay, that way you can keep doing what you're doing every day, right? You still got to pay the bills with your current job and what you're doing until this overtakes. So $70,000 in the tax benefits. That's year one tax benefits he gets to write off against his income. 40% of the cash flow, that's $2,800 a month. 40% of the profits, that's $350,000 projected profits on this deal. Construction management fee, because they're doing renovations on the deal. He's managing the managers. Construction management fee. Contractors are doing the work. He's just managing the contractors. 8% construction management fee. So he's set to make over $168,000 in cash flow and $350,000 in profits for $27,000 out of pocket. His returns are, they're stupid. And this is totally normal. I know. You understand? You're asking yourself, how is this possible? Because you're learning a very, very valuable skill set. Okay? Keep in mind, your income is directly related to the problems that you solve. I'm going to say that again. Your income is directly related to the problems that you solve for the world. So if you're solving $1,000 problems, you're making thousands of dollars. If you're solving $100,000 problems, you're making hundreds of thousands. If you're solving $1 million problems, you get to make big, big coin. That's how it works. This is why you do this. This is why you invest and take the time to make this happen, okay? So today, Brian's earning thousands of dollars per month in cash flow, holds 40% of the deal's profits. In year one, he received over $70,000 in bonus depreciation losses, offsetting his income from his dog walking business. Projected total returns, crazy. So Brian's now working on his third deal now. He's moving into 50+ unit deals and buildings. And he's just one of the 100+ success stories in the community. We've helped everyday people become millionaires in multifamily real estate. Look, if Brian can do it, so can you. When you join Multifamily Schooled, you get access to a system and a community and direct mentorship with me. We're going to help you buy your first apartment building up to however many you want to go. 2 times weekly on Zoom calls with me personally. You're also going to get 2 to 4 expert calls weekly with attorneys, capital raisers, deal finders, and property managers, and so forth. A personal accountability coach to hold you accountable. A 90-day step-by-step action plan. We're going to help review all of your deals with you through the deal analyzer. Underwriting help, and all the capital raising help as well. Access to our network of equity partners and our lenders. You get lifetime access to all of our A to Z masterclasses and our entire document library, everything multifamily. Off-market deal finding through our software, our Business in a Box, LLC, CRM, and investor website help, plus bonuses like Tax Hacks 101, capital raising, and 2 VIP tickets to our live events that we have every year. Creative Financing 101 is what you're going to get as well. But let me also address some upfront things. You might watch this and still think, hey, I need to think about it. Totally normal. But what usually means is one of 2 things. Either you're not sure that this will work for you, or you don't fully trust that this is real. Here's the truth. We've helped hundreds of people in all walks of life become millionaires in multifamily. Dog walkers, nurses, corporate employees, single moms, not because they were lucky, but because they followed a system. They stayed consistent. They leaned in with us, and they leveraged the support systems. So a couple quotes that I want to leave you with, and I've talked about it. I'm going to say it again. My dad always told me, he said, look, son, look, there's doers and there's dreamers in this world. Doers, they take their dreams and they make them a reality. Dreamers, you just keep on dreaming, baby. You talk, but you never take the action. Your income is directly related to the problems that you solve. Remember that one. Having the skill sets to do multifamily makes you a big-time problem solver for your family and for investors. You're solving big $1 million problems. Hence the reason you get the chance to make millions.